We had an attitude by our second album is to destroy music. You treat us like shit, but you know, we're music too.
We were local legends before we even made a record.
I knew Flavor, but he wasn't called Flavor.
We always had to fight. We always had to prove our existence.
How do we lock into people's imagination with words and music? There ain't gonna be no video.
On behalf of FMC, the Pitchfork Music Festival, and the Chicago Cultural Center, I'd like to welcome you to this up-close look at Public Enemy's It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back.
So I'm going to be the moderator, but the stars of the show are to my left. And I've been working on a documentary about the history of sampling, and Public Enemy obviously plays a crucial role in that history. I'd like to play you a 1.5-minute segment from the documentary.
It was just this magical window of time.
Public Enemy were iconoclastic, definitely. Never really heard anything like that before.
Like, when you hear it for the first time, back then, you know, it's just like, whoa.
Your bad self, help us break this down from off the shelf. Here's some music serving you some music. Papa got a brand new funk. Kick down.
The Bomb Squad was the association of Chuck D, Hank Shocklee, Keith Shocklee, and Eric Vietnam Sadler. Those four individuals together were the Bomb Squad, and they were the ones who put together the sound of Public Enemy's music.
My first real encounter with Chuck was I threw a party in Rockville Center, and that party was a complete failure. And Chuck came to me and said, "Yo, man, you know why nobody came to your party, man?" And I was like, "Yo, man, come on, dude. Why are you talking to me about this now?" You know? He said, "Because your flyer was whack." And I said, "What?" He said, "My flyer, when I made my first flyer, it looked like this." So Chuck did our next flyer, and lo and behold, the place was packed.
For 2 years, Spectrum used to open up the mic to anybody that wanted to get on. You guys used to have a special look, okay, this is the hot hip-hop tune, this is the hot B-boy break. Okay, we're gonna open the mic.
They call them Thursday night parties that they used to have. So there was like about 30 or 40 guys that would just stand around and wanted to rap, and they were just all rapping one after another. And then Chuck, came on, and he sounded better than all of them.
I'd be trying to get my dance on with somebody, and this new MC, he'll just fuck up the whole flow. Because Spectrum, like, the music is perfect, the mixes are perfect, the beats are on time, they gotta make no mistake, and then they open the mic and give the mic out to everybody trying to get their chance. So I was like, that's why, I just wanted to get on the mic just to shut the novices up.
Yeah, bro, what a brother, once again, back here's the incredible.
The vocal style was developed out of two scenarios. One, the James Brown, Bobby Bird approach. If you listen to Sex Machine, everybody, all you listen to Get Up, Get Into It, Get Involved, James Brown. Everybody over there, get on up. Everybody over there, get into it. Everybody over there, get involved. Everybody get, Takes a Nation, we did more trade-off back and forth. I wrote the lyrics, so I would do the whole song, and then I would gut my end, mute it out. We would gut it and mute it out, and Flavor would actually do those lines.
Yo, Chicago! Hey, yo, one time for your man. That man, you say Flavor, Flav!
I knew Flavor, but he wasn't called Flavor. Just, you know.
He was Rico.
He was Rico. I played, and it was funny, I played Little League football, and over the years, I had to figure out how did he play Little League football with me, and he's 4 years older than me. I figured that out like in '98.
One time we was all playing on the block, and Flav had a job when he was driving the kids, the cerebral palsy kids, in the bus home. He came out one time with the bus, with the kids on the bus, and then started playing football with us, hanging out, laughing, joking. And then we would be there for like 2.5 hours. And he still got the kids on the bus. And he doesn't even realize it. He's a kid at heart, you know. But at the same time, he's ridiculously forgetful.
Before we get started, where were you on Bring the Noise, man?
Hey, Chuck, I'm sorry I was late. I was getting the family in.
He's always had a history of being like doing the wrong thing at the right time. His ability to engage people and get them excited about him or anything, to me, was amazing. He would be the trumpeter for Public Enemy. People started calling a hype man.
Let me hear you say, go P.E., go P.E., go! Go P.E., go P.E., go! Say, go Chuck D, go Chuck D, go! Go Chuck D, go Chuck D, go! Say, go Flavor Flav, go Flavor Flav, go! Go Flavor Flav, go Flavor Flav!
Chicago, they always got our back. Caught you looking for the same thing. It's a new thing. Check out this break. I'm off the road on the low level, cause I'm living low next to the bay.
Come on!
Turn on the radio. They're claiming I'm a criminal. But now I wonder how. Some people never know. I'm going to my media assassin, Harry Allen. I gotta ask him.
Yo, Harry, you're a writer. Are we that tight?
Don't believe the hype.
And you gotta remember that at this time in hip-hop's recorded development, people were saying that it was a fad and it was going to go away. And these were the first people I ever met who took the culture completely seriously and as a completely natural development in music, and whose attention to detail I felt matched my own. We used to go up, to the studio and be up there till 3 o'clock in the morning talking, and it wasn't about like who were the hot artists, but it was about records and about how records worked and why they worked or why records didn't work. These guys are my teachers.
All of this is based off of the knowledge of records and musicians and labels and everything that's the total embodiment of hip hop.
You had to know records backwards and forwards.
Like today, people make their own beats and they just run out there in the streets. We didn't have that back then. So you had to know what records was hot. You had to know what records you can rap over or MC over. So you did have to have knowledge of records. And if you're looking for records that or breaks that cats ain't never heard before to rap over, you gotta do some digging.
Hip hop is based on the knowledge of records, and its fundamental beginnings and foundation is based on the knowledge of records. So whenever you hear a Nas get down on something like a Peace the President or a little break beat in wherever, today's audience might not know exactly what the root was, but they've heard that sound somewhere before. I think the beauty about rap is that it made up a large part for its lack of melody with its sense of reminder.
What was my vision was to have this group be kind of like a production assembly line.
Would you join me, please, in welcoming?
There's going to be a time when we're going to have a nice little groove where Keith is going to be on some, and Chuck is going to have some, and I'm going to be like, and so we're all together, and there's this one little moment that it all just meshes together in a nice vibration, all right? And that little moment we then snatched and sampled. In order to make a Public Enemy record, you have to comb through thousands of records. The assembly line came from the fact of that there was so much research that had to be in that record. For example, we're gonna get on down. How many different records have said those words? And how many different expressions can you pull from those records that say that word? And that in itself it just makes the job so incredibly difficult, but at the same time, when you get it together, so incredibly rewarding. You know, when you make music, everything just comes from your personality. Whatever, you know, you're feeling as a person, you're going to inject into your music, and that's the good and bad parts of you.
We wanted to destroy all barriers set up for music. And Bring the Noise, we thought, was the first statement that actually said, you treat us like shit, you know, but, you know, we're music too.
Come on now. Come on.
They did it artsy-fartsy, I call it. They made noise sound good, the way Jimi Hendrix did with the feedback on the guitar. And they named it perfectly on one of the songs, Bring the Noise. That's exactly what they did.
Bring the noise. Last time. Step aside for the first Terminator.
I just want to turn up the frequency. I just want to bring up the noise. The noise was always the things that's unwanted in records. It's the things that you're in the studio that you're always trying to eliminate. So my whole thing was about, you know, about intensifying that element. And noise, if you understand the nature of noise, noise is all frequencies at once coming at you.
We dealt with many samples kind of collaged with each other. They could kind of like disguise themselves and create their own texture of identity. We were able to, you know, go into that area with the knowledge of experimentation that would say hey, we could be boundless and just go with some wrecked abandon. As long as we were able to come up with themes and vocals that were able to ride the faster speeds.
Who gives a fuck about a goddamn planet? Anyway, and I'm saying that they defending the mic. Yeah. Who gives a fuck about what they like, right? The power is bold, the rhymes politically cold. Because can never but the handle is low. Because the coming is there. He's about to become the one and only missionary Lord.
This country is terrible on foreign policy. Your dollar going down, you got $5 gas. The government, the president, CIA, and the FBI has forsaken you, the people, to wonder where you at in this world right now. That's why a lot of the songs, if it takes a nation of millions to hold us back, are relevant, regardless of whatever they want to say. 20 years is a long time in music, but it ain't no time in life. This song is louder than the bomb.
Public Enemy, to me, the entire concept was an experiment. What if I put a little bit of consciousness in this particular scenario?
Well, we come from a time where I remember when Malcolm X was murdered. I remember a Nation of Islam always being in the community, especially in the late 60s with the African American experience.
I think that it woke up a consciousness in people. They felt the rebellion. The album cover was so powerful that when you see Chuck and Flav behind bars, I thought that in itself raised the consciousness level of oppressed people everywhere.
Hank and I was promoting a gig and we put Malcolm X on the cover. We were hanging flyers on the poles and this guy stopped and said, "Who's this dude, Malcolm the 10th?" That told us that we wanted to integrate some things in our music to let these young people know, or let the world know that this can't be forgotten.
Have you forgotten that once we were brought here, we were robbed of our names, robbed of our language, we lost our religion, our culture, our God, and many of us, by the way we act, we even lost our mind.
What we wanted to create was that kind of like reality record. You hear it out there on the streets, and now that what you've heard in the streets is now back in the record again.
Our first tour was the Beastie Boys already having 20,000 people in front of them, and Public Enemy's gonna open up with a large logo, sirens, two brothers on top of stanchions with Uzis, And we're coming out looking like we're out of the Black Panthers and Nation of Islam, and we don't give a damn what you white folks think. This is the truth, and let the truth shall set you free.
Yes, the rhythm, the rebel, without applause, I'm lowering my level. The hard grammar, we ain't never been on it. You want styling, you know it's how it is. The enemy tell you to hear it. They play my music, it's time to play my lyrics. Some say no to the album, the show.
Takes a Nation comes along and says, you know, you gotta look at this just as, you know, the Beatles looked at Sgt. Pepper. Rap music was the album music. It was the final, that's it.
Radio, suckers never play me on the mix. But you don't care me now, no one is cool. When they talk about
PE and that particular album, it ushered hip hop into the new direction that it even is in today. This rebel attitude, the I ain't gonna take shit, I'm gonna fuck shit up. I think it opened up people in ways that I've never imagined that it would.